Hey, hi, how are you? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever and wherever it is that you decide to watch this video, and welcome back to Countdown to Shadows, the series in which I talk about the mainline Assassin's Creed franchise all the way up to the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows. And I do apologize for that one-day delay. I'm not going to be making excuses here, so I just wanted to get that out of the way. But yeah, welcome back, and in today's video we are going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which was released 1 year after Assassin's Creed Origins, which is an interesting decision to do because, you know, there was no game in 2016, so why was this made for 2018? But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, this is an interesting game to talk about because I remember the lead up to this game and how a lot of Assassin's Creed fans were just not vibing with it. You know, it's set before Assassin's Creed Origins, which was the origins of the Assassins, which means that this game wouldn't have assassins or hidden ones, which was what Origins established. So there's not going to be a hidden blade. You use a spear, which is a piece of Eden. There's no Order of the Ancients / Templars. It felt like a weird thing. And also, this was the first game to go once again fully into the Witcher 3-esque RPG system. The open world is massive. Ships would be coming back, ship battles, and for the first time ever, dialogue choices and character gender choices. And a lot of people were just not vibing with this game in the lead up. I was sort of 50-50 on it. It wasn't until like one of the trailers fully convinced me on this game. And with all that out of the way, what do I think of Assassin's Creed Shadows? I like it. I think Odyssey Odyssey I like Odyssey. This Odyssey for me is a really great game. I don't like it as much as Origins, but I still like it. But I have a couple of problems with it. One of them being the gear system in this game. I love the customization in this game. I love how deep it can go. But what I don't like is how the three main damage stats, which is Hunter, which affects the bow, Assassin, which is, affects the damage you can do with the Spear of Leonidas in stealth, and then there's Warrior, which affects melee damage. I don't like how the gear in this game, the weapons and the armor, affect those stats because since gear is so random, the gear is random loot, random perks. So what happens is that you can't one-shot assassinate people in this game if you don't build up to it, if you don't find gear that specifically says plus assassin damage. The same thing goes for the bow, the same thing goes for weapons, which leads to a weird balance where sometimes you can be very good at assassin damage, sometimes you're terrible at it. Most of the times you can be great at melee, most of the times you won't be great at melee, and a lot of times you just won't be great with the bow. The bows really got a nerf because of this, and so you can barely one-shot, headshot the enemies with a bow fully charged, so that's kind of sad. So this just leads to weird balances and just constantly changing your setups. I know that you can upgrade your gear, but upgrading gear in this game is expensive in the higher levels. So you most likely just be swapping gear in and out like you would do in Destiny or in Diablo and all that, and all those ARPG looter shooters. So I'm not a big fan of that. Another thing I'm not a big fan of in this game is level progression. Now, at first it's fine. Like you'll do your side quests, you'll do your main quests, you will gain XP, you will level up. But then, like halfway through your leveling experience, leveling up can be steep. You will need to be doing a lot of side quests, and just the level jumps between campaign missions is awkward at times and requires a lot of grinding, which kind of messes up with the pacing of the story. So I also don't really like that. One thing that I'm 50-50 on in this game is the way that the story is split. Because there are three stories. There's the main story, which is you as either Cassandra or as Eivor, having to go and reunite with your family, finding your long lost sibling, finding your long lost mother, and then which leads into finding your estranged biological father. That's the main story, which then that leads into the Cult of Cosmos story, which is sort of the Templar hunt in this game, sort of the Order of the Ancients hunts, where your main goal is to find and assassinate members of the Cult of Cosmos. And this system, I will say this, I love the cultist system in this game, because you are essentially, you're finding clues. You'll find clues throughout the open world, you'll find clues throughout the campaign, you'll find clues by killing other members of the cult, which leads into discovering more members of the Cult of Cosmos, which just feeds into each other, and it's a very nice system. It makes me feel like I'm doing some detective work. And this system would get better as time goes on with the next game, but that system is very great. So to go back to the conversation of the story, that then leads into the Atlantis story, the Gates of Atlantis story, which is the Isu/fantasy elements of the game. And I remember a lot of people were not vibing with this game leaning heavily into the fantasy element, but I personally don't care, because the explanation they give makes sense. You are fighting Isu creations, you yourself are a descendant of the Isu. And so those are the main three quest lines, and I'm 50-50 on it because they do lead into each other, they do work with each other, but at the same time there's not really a clear focus on what the actual main story is. And this game isn't really the worst offender. We'll get to the worst offender in a moment. But yeah, there's that. But you know what? Other than those gripes, in general, this game is fun. The combat feels great, if a bit floaty. Character customization is great. Greece as an open world is massive and beautiful, and just having ship combat back is great. And in general, I can describe this game as a spiritual successor to Black Flag, which is funny in hindsight in a world post Skull and Bones. But this game is fun. The story in general is also really great. The choices in this game matter to some degree. Like your endings in the main family storyline will change depending on the choices that you make, which is great. I love it. And yeah, I like this game. This game is really great. But as time goes on, there was a time where I would consider this game one of my favorite games in the franchise. Now it's top 6, top 10, but it's not up there. And I struggle to find a cohesive way to talk about this game in this format, because there's not much I can say to a game that I just like. Like, this isn't 2 or Brotherhood where I could talk endlessly about what I love about those games. Same with Origins. This isn't Unity where I can talk a whole bunch of the things that I just do not like in that game. This is just a game that I like. And I'll just leave it at that so I can end this video. But anyways, please leave your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you guys think on Assassin's Creed Odyssey? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss more on Countdown Shadows, because next time we will be talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I'll see you guys then. Bye.